So good. Clap once if you can hear me. That's pretty good. All right. I know, I'm with you. I'm impressed. Happy Tuesday, you guys. Excited to be able to hang out with you. We've got a pretty full meeting going over numbers. Dennis is in traffic, but he'll be here in like 5. But as always, let's start with John.
All right, so one of the things that I get daily questions on is about Form 17, where exemptions exist or not, or don't exist. So, so my friend Bill Cox was one who directed me to the RCW, which is 64.06.010, that lists the only exemptions to property disclosure law, Form 17. Did I say the only exemptions? Only exemptions. So we might make up stories in our head, well, they've never seen the property, they're this. Doesn't matter. If it's not listed on this as exemptions, they are not exempt. So let me just quickly address these with you. And then if you have any questions, I want you to feel any questions about it. It's pretty self-explanatory. So, so the first 3 are exemptions that you as real estate agents will never be involved with, right? Never be involved with. They're gifts from family members, things like that, that you as real estate agents would not be involved in representation of others in those first 3 things. The fourth one says a transfer where a buyer had an ownership interest in the property within 2 years of the date of the transfer, including but not limited to an ownership interest in a partnership, as a partner in a partnership, a limited partner in a limited partnership, a shareholder in a corporation, a leasehold interest. Okay, so there are some situations where the person selling the property was simply a member of the corporation, simply a member of a partnership that only had a financial interest, was not really involved with the property, is how I interpret that. Bill, do you interpret that any differently? So that's one that might come up, you know, not very often, but might come up. And I just want you to be aware of that one. And then number 6 would never come up, I doubt. I mean, it could, but I doubt. That would be if there was a life estate being transferred, if there was some other form of ownership besides fee simple that's being transferred. But that's not likely. So the 2 that really apply that we can look at as exemptions do come up fairly frequently is number 6, which is a transfer made by the personal representative of the estate of the decedent. Would be involved in the trustee or bankruptcy, but that is one that sometimes comes up, right? So one that came up yesterday was one where the agent asked me, I said they're exempt because they're an estate. I said, okay, great. So it's a mistake. So the person who's signing is a representative of the estate. I said, yes, she said, yes, she has POA, power of attorney. And I said, okay, well, the person's dead, so she can't have POA for someone who's dead. Okay? And she said, oh, yeah, I guess that's right. I said, yeah. So my questions are, is that person who died, which was her brother, is that person now his estate, now everything been transferred to her? Has it been through probate? Is it all in her name now? And she said, I believe so. And I said, okay, so it's not an estate anymore, it's in her name. She owns it. She's not exempt. She would need to give the property transfer disclosure, Form 17, right? But if it is still in the deceased's name or the estate of, and it's still going through probate, she's still, she's representing, is the appointed representative of that estate, she would fall under that exemption for that transfer from the estate to whoever it's going to. But once it's gone into her name, it's no longer an estate, it's in her name. I see a lot of blank looks. Okay. Are you following me or? Bill, I'm looking to you. Clear explanation. Think I nailed it?
Yeah.
So I kind of got lost.
Except for Dan.
Thank you. So was she ever the executive or executrix of the estate? Or she received that estate by?
Well, appointed representative, is what we're talking about. So it could be
Right.
an administrator of the estate, could be executive of the estate, whatever it is. What it is not is a trust. Okay, so a trust is not exempt.
So wait a minute, stop. You've lost me again. I'm not talking about trust, but if she is the executrix of the estate, they would not have to fill out a Form 17.
Correct.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
You bet. So I was talking though about trusts. So family trusts are very common, set up and used these days, right? There's no exemption for a trust. So whoever is the representative of the trust will have to fill out Form 17. So an answer when they say, well, I've never even seen the property. Well, number 7, the last one, is the alternative to that whole thing. Really, the only answer to that whole thing is to give, in your listing, is to put into the listing, maybe a Form 17 that has a big arrow on page 6 on the final signature line of the buyer, which is their waiver of their right to receive it. Big arrow pointing to it, and just put in the notes of your listing that all offers must have the waiver signed, because the seller doesn't have to accept an offer. It doesn't have a waiver of their right to receive the Form 17 signed. The Form 17 on page 6 has 3 buyer signature lines. Top one is for receipt of the Form 17. The second one is for a waiver of the right to revoke based on the Form 17. And the third and final one at the very bottom, toward the bottom, is their waiver of their right to receive a Form 17. That's the one, if you're listing a property and you want offers to come in without waive, you want to indicate that you'll need to waive, right? Buyer's agents will need to waive the buyer's right to receive a Form 17. So this is what number 7 is all about here. So that works except for one thing. That is, if the seller would have to answer yes to any of the environmental questions in Section 8 of the Form 17. I think it's 8 environmental questions. And so if one of those the seller would have to answer yes to, then they can't waive Section 8. They have to give the disclosure in Section 8. So what you see a lot of with lawyers who are preparing this for their clients and things like that, where it's going to be waived, what's got to be waived, is they are actually including that environmental section, just that section with the seller's answer to those questions. But yeah, the seller can require that any offers that come in waive their right to receive the Form 17. A buyer, I'm going to maybe be suspicious unless I hear what's going on. So until I hear what's going on. And maybe, you know, it's a situation where the seller just really has not seen the property, has no knowledge, they're not an exemption. They want any offers to come in to waive their right to receive the Form 17.
I have a question in the chat.
Okay.
What if seller is deceased and the trustee is the son and grew up in the house? In fact, knows everything, still waived, question mark. I know attorney will say waived, though I want more feedback.
Well, I'd say waived, because I always agree with the lawyer. With their lawyer. Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't matter how much knowledge they have. But that's not part of the proper disclosure law. Common sense says, yeah, that's important, but really the law doesn't say that. It just has those specific exemptions that are listed up there. Yeah.
Hey, John, for page 1, 2, 3, 5, is the seller initialing all those pages? And as a buyer, the buyer wants to waive, you know, that paragraph. Are we allowed to cross page 1, 2, 3, 4? Do we not cross it?
Yeah, I would go ahead and line and just draw a line through 1 through 5, except maybe where, you know, number 8 is. You don't have to fill out the 8, the environmental section, and then just have them sign, the buyer sign that final signature line to waive their right to receive it.
Is the seller initialing every page still on the bottom, even if we're crossing?
No, because they're making no representations. Except for environmental. Any other questions? Hope that was helpful for you. If not, it's an evening reading.
Hi, how are we? My computer decided that 30 seconds before the tech moment would be a great time to restart and stop figuring out how to internet. So it makes it super fun for me to show you our tech moment. Goldie, is it possible to get command up on that computer? It's up. I'm just gonna come over there rather than try to explain to Goldie how to do all the things. I'm gonna try. Cool. Thank you. Hi, I'm over here. Hi, Zoom. How are we?
I don't know if that was right or wrong.
You're doing great. That's good. I can see me. Perfect. All right. I'm gonna log into command here. Today is super quick as far as our tech update. And that is, I have a question that several people have asked recently. People are using designs more, which makes me excited. Those of you who are grumpy at designs because it's not user-friendly, I hear you. And let me tell you, it's much more user-friendly than it used to be. And because of that, I have a lot of people who say, hey, I made this design and I'd love to share it with my friends. Is there an easy way for me to do that? Or my teammates who know that designs is not teamified yet, how do we share designs between the team? And you can actually do that super easy in Designs. It's actually been here all along. We just didn't know it was here. So let me show you how that works. So in order to we understand that Designs is made by a third party. Did we know that? We do now. Welcome. So we have to kind of get into Designs in order to be able to use this feature. So the way we get into Designs is by pretending we're creating a design, even though that's not what we're doing today. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into Designs. And once I've hopped in here, I have a menu of choices at the top. That is basically the templates, your designs that you've created, and your design assets toolbox. And what we're going to want to do if it pops up is go to My Designs right here, and that's going to show you everything you've ever created in Designs. Now, let's say I'm going to use this one as an example because I actually did this week. So I made Aracelli's email signature, and then I wanted her to be able to edit it in Designs anytime she wanted. So I wanted it to be in her Designs. And I can actually do that by clicking the 3 dots next to the design, and there's a share button. And you can share with any agent in the entirety of Keller Williams. So I can, now she already has this one, but I can just go ahead and add her and click done, and it'll show up in her Designs.
Oh.
And then she can edit it all she wants. So let's say you have an open house and somebody else is doing the open house for you. You can just send them the open house design. It will show up right in their Designs. and then they can edit it and do whatever they want. So yeah, super quick, super easy. Save everybody a lot of time and energy. Any questions? Cool, that's all I have for you today.
Hey,
Thank you, Crystal.
great.
Welcome.
All right, we're gonna.
Oh, that's still
Just
me.
kidding.
I lied, but I'm gonna come over here now. Hi. I'm gonna put on this hat now. It's my event coordinator hat. How many of you went to business planning clinic? Nice, not enough hands. Business planning clinic is fabulous. You should go. How many of you really laid out your goals for the year in a way that you felt was really organized and understood?
Always.
Still not enough hands, but okay. The one thing goal setting retreat is happening in March. For those of you that saw us do it last year, it was couples only last year. This year we've been able to open it up to individuals as well. And there is, just so we're clear, there's like 2 different sets of like questions and curriculum and things you walk through, and both will be available. So I want to make sure we understand that it is geared toward both of those groups. This is great for people who went to business planning clinic and laid out their goals for the year. March is the end of Q1. What better time to stop and take a look at where you're at and where you are toward achieving your goals? Do you need to make adjustments? Can you have bigger goals? It's a great time to sit and have that conversation. And for the well over half the people in this room who said they didn't go to business planning clinic and don't have their goals laid out, March would be a great time to do that, to get your goals all set for the rest of the year so that you can end the year where you'd like to. Any questions about the goal setting retreat? I will tell you that what is it? Early bird pricing has ended. However, if you come and speak to me today about getting registered, I can make early bird pricing available.
How many tickets do we have left?
I can fit 30 more human beings.
Any questions?
Yeah.
What's the agenda for
The
the
11th is just arrival and like get settled in your hotel. We'll all have dinner together most likely. But there's no specific agenda. Most things happen all day on Saturday. We'll go on Saturday from about 8 a.m. to usually 2 or 3. I haven't laid it all out yet. And then we do a half day on Sunday. 100%. We've had several people talk about that, not being able to get there on the Friday evening, and that is absolutely an option. Any other questions about the one thing retreat?
Bring kids.
What?
Can we bring our kids?
I mean, you can. I wouldn't. There won't be childcare available and you'll be distracted.
Awesome. Thank you, Crystal.
I'm gonna need your eyeballs so I can't see.
Oh,
I
man.
don't need them right now, but I'll tell you.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about January? How'd January go for you?
Underwhelming.
What do you mean by that?
I thought it was gonna start quicker, but then at the end of January, it started picking up.
When you say started picking up, are you talking about people wanting to list their homes? Or are you talking about buyers? What do you?
First 2 weeks was just blah. But then the 3rd, the 4th week, we started going out more listing appointments and we started listing a couple houses.
So every month we go through this, right, around this time of the month, and we show you the difference between pendings and actives that came on the market. The problem with looking at this is it's a rear view mirror. There's nothing you can do to change it. It's already done, okay? But let's go through it anyway, because it is kind of instructive. If you look at back, the last time that we had more active lists, the blue is active coming on the market listings, okay? The red is pendings. Last time we had more actives than pendings was November 2020. That was more than a year ago, just because we're in 2022 now. So if you look at this, I mean, it got really out of whack around March. And then, do you remember last March was crazy? Remember houses were going hundreds of thousands of dollars over list? Same thing's happening all year long, and it started getting tighter until January. You can see the difference. 761 houses came on the market. This is King County. 2009 went pending. That's more than double. That means that there's, I mean, inventory wise, let's go up a little bit. Oh, sorry, wrong way. That way.
Yeah.
Yeah, down. Is it?
Good one.
So that's 264% of the listings that came on the market. And you're going, how is that possible? It's possible because not everything's sold that's on the market. Things are selling beyond what's coming on the market. And some of them are not that great of houses. If they're sitting there for a month or two, they're obviously not great listings, right? But when there's nothing else to choose from, people buy them anyway. So let's go to Pierce County. And it's almost the same situation. Only 404 houses came on the market. 1,148 sold or went pending. And again, you have to go back to December of 2019. That's a long time. It's over 2 years. In Pierce County, that's crazy. So you have to explain this kind of things to your buyers so they understand why they're having to bid over the list price and remove all their contingencies if they can, and just make their offer as good as they can. I'm looking at, in order to look at their, where did you go?
Right here.
I need your eyeballs. We want to look at the windshield view instead of the rear view mirror. And so this is us, this is underway, and this is listing state. So we took 73 listings in January, which is, let's see, hold on. It's 14% better than we did last year in January. And the market itself was down 13.8 in listing state. So we actually outpaced the market by 200%. That's this office. Kent took 38 listings, where last year they took, is that 31?
Yep.
Okay, I can see it.
Doing great.
Sort of. That's a 38% increase over last year. And again, the market was down 12.3. So that their total was 414% above the market. So that's the good news. We're taking more listings than most of the other offices out there. Now, of course, I'm sure that what's going to happen, because there's no inventory, all those are going to sell this month. So did you notice more listings did you take a bunch of listings at the end of the month last month, Dan?
Yes.
Did they sell immediately, or were they?
Well, if they didn't sell within a week, which I have one, I don't know, if something doesn't sell within a week, it's overpriced. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, until you're a buyer's agent, and then you go make an offer on one that's 2 weeks on the market, and there's 5 other offers all of a sudden. Because that's what happens. So I expect this thing will come closer next month, but again, we're looking at rear view, we don't know. So any questions about what's happening right now? Yes.
Do we have any indication? How listing agents are going to have coming on the market here in the next 12 months?
That's really, the ones I've talked to say they're very busy with, their pipelines are pretty full. But that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. Sometimes people, by the way, I'm glad we're here talking about this, because the biggest thing that's keeping people from putting their house in the market is where are they going to go, right? Finding somewhere else, unless they're moving out of the state, which then they usually have something planned. But if they're staying local, where are they going to go? So on March, I think it's 15th. Let's go. Is it 15th that Knox going to be here?
Yes.
Knock will be here, knock.com, what's the name of it? Knock Inc.? Just Knock.
It's the knock.
The Knock. Knock will be here, and they have a program called HomeSwap. It's called HomeSwap. Anyway, what they do is they're a lender, but they have a special type of loan for people that have equity in their homes. They're afraid to move because they don't want to be homeless. And so they give them their equity in their house. They loan them the money for the new house. And the cool part is their debt on the old house does not count against them towards their purchase of the new house. Then they get 6 months interest only on that loan. So it gives them tons of time to get moved into something else, get their house ready and on the market, sell it, which we know that's going to sell, everything is. So it's a loan program. You have to know about this, and you have to go through a 20-minute or 25-minute certification, which is really simple. You don't really have to do anything except listen to how the program works. Okay, so it would be a really good one for everybody to be at. It'll help you to get more listings, I think.
Dennis, they also say on this, it says you'll get an advance of up to $25,000 and access to our contractor network.
Yeah, if you have,
To get your house ready.
if you need your house worked on too, that's the other part of it.
Is this a specific lender or?
It's a
program?
specific lender. Yep. So on the 15th, what's going to happen is there'll be a team meeting. They'll spend about 5 minutes kind of introducing it. And then right after the meeting, hang out, because it'll take them about 20 minutes to go through the certification process. Once you've got that, you can start offering those to your people. Okay, so there's hope. Because I'll bet, okay, out of all the people that you're listing homes for, how many people are in your pipeline that are going, I'd like to sell, but I'm afraid, to end up.
How many people
Homeless.
haven't
Yeah.
reached out to you? because of
Yeah.
that?
Is it half for you
And
too?
I've been working on one with them for almost a year or over a year.
Julianne, what about you?
Well, a lot of our deceased are seniors.
Well, they don't have much choice.
I would say maybe 25% of the time.
Probably, we just closed on one similar to this MAC program through BECU. So we take the equity out of our home, buy one first, and then we'll list the price next.
Did they not count the debt of their old house? Because that's the part of it that's really cool. You can literally buy your maximum house if you want to. Without having that count against you. They know you're going to sell it. So, anyway, be ready for that. It's coming. Okay.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, so we're gonna take numbers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna go again a little bit deeper with numbers, and I've got some questions. Why do you think we start with the region and KWI as a whole before we go down into our office specific?
Just to see how the nation's doing
Mhm.
in the region.
And then when we look at this, what are the specific ones that we want to be able to talk about at a higher level, and the other ones that we just kind of ignore to talk about?
Well, I feel like those two control, right, the volume price.
Correct. Yep. Volume we never want to talk about unless we're talking about how good we look, right? So the closed units, we're down as a KWI as a whole, and then the region listings taken as well. The region is down quite a bit at 15%. So let's jump over to Federal Way. Listings taken is up. So we're outpacing the region by quite a bit when they were -15, and then the closing units is down. And then Mount Sound was unique. They're always listing heavy. Like they're a primary listing agent and they're down 25%. So that's just something to be mindful of, but they're up with their closed units. So now if we took those numbers and then you guys broke it down to your individual agent, like your business numbers, do you guys look at that every month and analyze that? Do you think maybe that might be a good idea? So we know what, our business was doing and what we needed to do to improve it. Just food for thought, no pressure, no pressure. But it's a good way for you to be able to add that into your listing or buyer consultations too, because it gives a lot of power and validity behind what we do at a high level. When we can talk about not only our own production, but the agents in our office as well, because you guys can talk about the office's success as it's yours because you influence that number. Okay. So for those that are newer, don't feel like they have that track record behind them, pull up these numbers and start talking about it like you own it because you do. So it's just really powerful to be able to partner with an office that's kicking butt and taking names.
I think that Kent one was wrong. It said down 25%. This is not, that's not.
What does yours say?
Listening taken, we're up. But 73 versus 61 year before.
This is us.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
This is month over month, and we're just taking.
This is month over month too.
Not January to January, but December to January.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Miss Lena, do you want to come welcome our
Numbers
people?
are right
Yes.
It's gonna be about louder.
We've got new agents, people.
Hey.
So Harsimer Singh, he goes by H. Gina Hayes, Kylie Lenzagraf, Raquana Hill Williams, Liza Pinzon, Elizabeth Ellingson, Caitlin Archaga Conica, Darren Snyder, Brianna Beckton, Connor Young, Lilia Anderson, and Sharice Barrett.
Cool. One loud clap. So we've got our cappers for the month. We've got Alex, Ashley, Cameron and Leilani, Hannah Lee Steven, Janae, is that how you say it? And Hannah Ranch. One loud clap. First closings, I always like to point these out because we all remember how exciting that very first one was. For those of you that are here, Taz, looking at you, have you rang the bell?
Yes, you
Okay.
do.
This one.
Yeah. So we've got Heather, Hector, Caitlin, Leanne, Taz, and Melissa. One loud clap. And yeah, we're not going to go through the names. But we've got the Home Run Club, which is a listing taken, written unit, and closed unit, which sounds like a pretty healthy business, right? The $1 Million Club, which is closed volume at $1 million. And then we did listen to your guys' feedback and added these, which I think is pretty epic to be able to break that apart. Dan's over there, kick a butt, taking names with 4 million with him and his team,
Yeah, but that's second place.
which is,
Nobody remembers second.
and
place.
Rosie Rourke at 6 million, which is just phenomenal. And then top to close our listing units. So I want you guys to pay attention to consistency in who we're seeing show up on all of these slides. And if you guys haven't introduced yourself and asked what they're doing, I suggest you do it, right? Yes. We're ready? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Kathy Jones from the Kent office. And thank you for, and you all found these on your desk, okay? So the local, well, it's Washington Residential Real Estate Council is doing this promotion of providing women's professional clothing. Okay, there's multiple organizations around Washington State that are participating in this. And Kent has participated in the past with Vine Maple Place. Okay, there's now 2 locations, one in Maple Valley and one in Kent. And so I'm going to be contacting one of my mover people to see if we can get some hanging clothing boxes. Okay, now if you're like me in the last 2 years and you've been working at home a lot and maybe you put on a few pounds because you can't fit into those professional clothing anymore, maybe you want to clean your closet for the spring. Okay, and donate some of those clothing to women who are being helped through these organizations. They do have training programs, career counseling assistance. The other thing is we're looking for basically hygiene types of products that you can get. And I think in our office, there has been a list of those products that could be provided, okay? So we're trying to kick this off now. More likely than not, we will be taking our clothing over to the communities in the 1st of March. I'll be contacting several other brokerage and also some of our support members, okay? Our movers, our title people, etc., to see if we can get this promotion and helping people who are in transition and looking into careers, okay? Any questions?
Yes. How long are we doing that?
We're doing it for the month, okay? And more likely than not, there may be some residual types of things after that, but you know, let's kick it off really, really strong, okay?
Is it women only?
February or?
Yes, women's. Now, the organization does collect clothing for, now, the Maple Valley location is the one that actually collects the clothing, okay? I will be visiting both of these organizations this Thursday, just to be more familiar with their programs and that sort of thing. So if you have any questions, give me a call, okay?
So we'll get this posted on our intranet page as well, so you guys can see it. And this is a great opportunity for you guys to reach out to your database and see if they've got a closet that they want to clean out as well.
Thank you.
And of course, thank you. All right, so we are going to be having a note before you go right after this, so in like a couple minutes. So for those that are attending, please stay put, and we're going to go over all of the tips and tricks. Okay. So we do have this so rescheduled. So it's going to be March 3rd from 11 to 1. It's taught by Guru. The feedback on this class has been phenomenal. How many of you guys know what a 135 is? Okay, so anybody that didn't raise their hand, register. And the same for the 411, right? And how to use those tools at a high level and not as a report, but as a tool. So you're constantly in them, making sure you're moving your business forward. We're having a disc class coming. Ooh, yay. Coming in on the 24th from 1 to 4. It's going to be here at this location. How many do we still have tickets available?
We have 17 registered as of today.
Oh,
okay.
Only 7 more, that's it.
Yeah. Yep. That's perfect.
How many of you guys know what the disc profile is? Why do we use that in our industry? Why do we always bring these kind of things into conversation with you guys? Right? So we understand how to connect with people at a really high level. As humans, what we say 90% has nothing to do with our words. It's our body language, our tonality, and our facial expressions. And when you can pick up and understand the disc profile of somebody, you can mirror and match at a higher level and build that trust without them realizing it. It's also really fun just to play games with other people and see if they're paying attention. So learning how to understand people at a higher level will benefit you in your business and everywhere else in life. So excited.
And it's 3 clock hours.
Oh, CE too, on top of it, even better. Okay. You want to talk about K-Score?
Thank you. Yay! K-Score is so exciting. So for those of you that don't know K-Score, KW's partner with Kaplan University to provide free real estate schools to people, right? So right in line with our Y4C2Ts, does everyone know what the E that was added was 2 years ago? Equity, opportunities for all, right? And so this is one way that we can help bring equity to our industry. So currently we have 311 people enrolled in K-Score. Woo! So we've had 5 complete the courses in our testing this month, and then we have 178 additional from those 5 who are actively engaged in classes, right? So we check the list every single Friday. I call through and talk to all the people who are there. Brian and I are partnered together to get all of your guys' referrals registered in there too. So thank you so much for that. We've created a Facebook page so we can keep engagement up with everyone who's enrolled. They're all invited to come join that. So between me, that ELT, and our coaches, we're keeping them engaged in some additional content. So lots of stuff to keep them engaged, bring them into the family. So thank you, keep bringing them. Send anybody you're referring to the K-Score email here is the best way so we can keep it all in one place. Anything that you send us individually goes to that email anyway, so it'd be really great if you guys can just send it there. And then just another quick thing, if you're advertising, please make sure that you're following the advertising guidelines provided by Kaplan and through the K-Score program so that the verbiage is legally correct and we can make sure that we're getting the message across how it's necessary. Okay, awesome, thank you. Yes.
So for those of us who sent
to you, how do you want us to help you?
Oh, great question. Well, what I am doing is I will update you guys as people are going through. So if you have somebody referred and haven't heard from me yet, please just reach back out and I'll look at where they're at. So anybody who's not actively engaged, because in that we have 128 of the people enrolled that haven't even gone into their classes yet. So that would be the best way, just checking and making sure that they're in their classes and not having any issues.
When you say check in with you want us to check through K-score or actually?
Yeah, through K-score. So it's all just in one spot. Because I have both of my emails open, so I'm in there all day long. So if you send, you'll get a response pretty quick.
Perfect. So that is business meeting for today. So for those that are sticking around for know before you go, hang out. And those that aren't, just want to know, hang out. Okay, so how many of you guys are going to Florida? So excited, like both hands, right? How many of you guys have been to family reunions before? Yes. How many of you guys, this is your first go? Okay, perfect. Well, we're gonna go kind of deep dive and set you guys up for success. These events are awesome. They're packed full of content. We want to make sure that you guys are getting the most out of it to actually move your businesses forward. Okay. How many of you guys have looked at the weather for Florida? Have you seen these numbers?
Yep, 70s, high 70s.
Look again.
The first day was Are you sure you're not looking at Orlando, California?
It said Florida, but that's why I'm asking.
Just make sure. My mom had Orlando, California. So, hey now.
What does it say on your guys' phone? I don't want to get overly excited.
Yesterday I looked, it was like 64.
Yeah,
Okay,
60s,
I looked
70s.
for what it's supposed to be when we're there, and it
Yeah,
said
yeah,
high
I know.
70s.
Okay, so 70s,
But
lots
that
of
was last
humidity.
minute.
My phone says really high numbers, which I'm geeked about, and I'm trying not to get too excited.
Oh.
One thing, what, Hannah?
It says high numbers. Like these high numbers?
Super high numbers,
Oh, yes.
like 80s. I can't even. I'm geeked. Okay, one thing that we need to be intentional with though, especially ladies, is bring coats because the conference rooms and spaces are like icicles.
80, 86.
Bring like a little like scarf-like thing.
Yes.
Well, right, right.
Yep.
High 80s.
I know. I love it. I'm living for it.
Scarf-like.
Another thing that's kind of your guys' option really is what to wear. You're gonna see things from 3-piece tuxes down to sweatpants and like, are you functioning as a human? So you're gonna see a full variety of everybody showing up. So dress for what you're comfortable with. I'm probably just gonna be wearing jeans, a t-shirt, and a blazer most days, but I will bring a couple dresses so that I've got some options. And then your shoes are very important. You guys are gonna be walking so much. I don't know how many of you guys calculate your steps, but you're gonna hit all of it in this time frame for the year, I swear. So bring shoes that are really comfortable for you to just walk around in, and a bag. So I always have brought a messenger bag. What I found is a backpack's actually more better. I did that.
More better.
Because you can carry it easier. And then snacks and drinks and all that kind of stuff, so you guys are prepared. The biggest thing that's different this year is the way they're doing the breakouts. So we knew before that it was, you ran in between each breakout to get to your classes, right? On the very first day on the 19th, you're going to be in one room for 5 hours. And they have it set up on a different track. So they've got a solo agent, an independent with an independent agent with an admin, a team, and expansion. So there's two different ways that you can kind of plan your agenda. It's based on where you're at now in your production level, or it's based on where you want to grow into. So if you know this year that you want to go towards having an admin, you might want to look at what the agent with an admin breakouts look like and plan accordingly. Another thing that they're really trying to focus on is what I refer to as an action item. Jason Abrams called it something else. Let's call it. We're going to go with 24-hour action item because I know what that is. It's just about implementing, right? We go to these classes, we get excited, we get exposed to all these really cool ideas and everything's shiny and bright. Going back and remembering what your focus is for the year in regards to your gap of knowledge and skill and staying mindful with that. And then at the end of the day, brain dump or get with other agents and kind of go through what you've learned and identify what's that one thing that you're going to implement in your business, either within 24 hours or right after you're back from the trip. So we actually see the benefits moving forward in our business.
If you're not already thinking of the one thing, people are going to be asking people. So it's like your conversation starter. What's the one thing you're implementing? So think about it as you're going through the process.
Yeah. And how much did the ticket cost you guys? How much was the airfare?
A lot.
And the room?
A lot.
So what would it look like if you guys made sure you walked out with specific referral partners while we're there too, right? So there's ways of making this pay for itself while you're at the event. So keep that in mind as you're standing in line, waiting on things, just turn around and start having conversations with people. Like that's the best part. And I think that's what I'm most excited about is being in the room with everybody.
So the last family reunion that I was an agent, which was, I ended up getting like 15 transactions just from networking and family. That's it. Like I hung out, talked to people, passed information, and got referrals. So referrals are an amazing, like that's what this event should be. That should be part of your focus.
So give us a couple things that you did on purpose to cause that.
Yeah, so I went to every networking event that I could. So we did kindness. There's all kinds of stuff to go to. At lunches, I didn't sit in my seat and talk to my friends. I walked around and had conversations with agents I didn't know. I sat with people I didn't know so that I could talk to them after classes. So just being purposeful. I had 100 business cards with the goal of getting 100 business cards and getting 100 business cards. And so that was part of it. A lot was done. I didn't like sit down and so I followed up afterwards. They all got a handwritten letter within 2 weeks after being reunion. I'm so excited for your help on it. And they got put in my sheet. 36 times.
You guys wrote some of those things down. You're going to have to pause those referrals.
Yeah.
How many of you guys have downloaded the app? Yep. So it's active as of today. Thank you, Dennis. It's active as of today. It's KW events, and it'll have the agenda that you can start creating your itinerary from.
That is an excellent question, so I will answer it louder. What's the login? Your login is the email address you registered with, and you can use your confirmation number as your password, or you can just click the forgot password button and set a new password, which is what I suggest.
I have another question. There was an email that came out that's like the know before you go, and it's supposed to be a barcode.
Yeah,
There's a number, and then it just says.
When you log into the app, the
There's a
barcode will
yeah.
be there.
Okay.
They are aware. And when
Okay.
you log into the app, the barcode will be there.
I'm like, that's not gonna be scannable.
Yeah, right. Okay. Guest speaker is Sean. He is an author, so he'll be on the main stage. We have our regional event. How many of you guys bought your Indiana Jones tickets?
Or you didn't do it now,
I'm
you're gonna be
raising
really
it.
sad.
Yeah.
There's 300 people and a special guest. Is it Nikki?
I have no idea.
It's Nikki.
I don't have to go, I don't care.
If those experiences are terrible, worth it, you can't do that on your own. You understand? You can't go to an event like that on your own. You can't pay enough money to do it on your own.
They're closing Disney.
So it's pretty cool.
I'm gonna just hide there for the next day.
And that's where you get to really talk about with people.
Yeah, because it's our region, right? So this is where you'll be able to partner really well with referring agents, right? Like Boise and all the other places where people are moving. So that is going to be the 21st at 7:30 For those that haven't raised their hands with tickets, let the staff know downstairs and we'll make sure you guys have the registration link. But that's
By Friday at 2.
what she said.
This is one of those things that can't be done on realtor time. They close down Disney for you,
Yeah.
which means you have to show up on time.
Yeah, we're being shuttled to the location. So there is no being late and all of that fun stuff. And then there are regional t-shirts that you guys can order.
I got one.
Same as. So if that's something you guys want, again, we'll make sure that we can put the link in front of you guys and on the intranet page as well, so you guys can make that happen. We'll be doing a t-shirt pickup. How are we doing the t-shirt pickup?
I think
There's a red box.
It's driven by the region. It's just an absolute. If they're crowding one location, if you be there, show up in a t-shirt, that's how I understand it.
Oh,
Okay.
she talked about it today. She
Yeah.
said that it would be available in our entire market, our entire location. Perfect. So we will.
Awesome. What questions do you guys have?
If you want to buy a t-shirt, I'm putting it in the Facebook page right now.
Thank you, Crystal. What are you guys most excited about?
Seeing people.
Hold on. What are we most excited about?
The whole thing.
All of it.
All of it.
Indiana Jones.
I'm going to an admin event and I'm excited to meet somebody I've been coaching, like in our group coaching with for a year. And so I'm like gonna hug her body. So,
Oh,
yeah,
that
real
reminds
people
me.
that I care about.
The lanyards will be color coded, you guys. So to help everybody with comfort levels around COVID. So green is cool beans, give me a hug. Yellow is I'm a little cautious, and red is back off. So just keep that in mind as we are engaging with people to be respectful of their comfort levels. And then, yeah, the protocol. So to be able to get in, you need to be able to have Pam.
I'm just gonna go backwards a little bit, because it's what you're excited about. And so this is like your first time, you don't know what to expect, you don't know what to be excited about, so I'm sure you're excited about this thing. Plus, there's orange juice and sunshine in Florida. Kind of a big deal. And mostly, you're gonna hear high-level business conversations. And that's what I get most excited about, because you're gonna be in part, sometimes the dumbest person in the room, like Lindsay says, which is a great place to be, it's where you wanna be if you wanna grow. And you're gonna have examples of people doing business in such a way that either you're gonna go, wow, I could do my business like that, that would be amazing, or you're gonna have another examples like, oh, I could never do business that way. So choose the one that you could most feel like that would be your business model, and find out everything you can about that agent, that team, all of it, because they're modeling for you how to be successful in a manner that you might want to also replicate.
Yeah, and everyone shares so openly, so don't be scared to ask questions. Don't be scared after classes to go up and talk to the instructor or whoever's teaching. Go talk to them and ask the questions that you really want to know. They're there to provide them for you.
Anything else, you guys?
So these people teaching these classes, are they agents, are they coaches, are they both, are they?
All of the above. All of the above.
And how do you like pick what class, all the classes you're gonna do? Do you do that there?
So you can download the app and start figuring out your agenda now.
You gotta like do it, like schedule it ahead of time?
You can change your mind. So
Okay,
you can
You don't
favorite
have to
what you'd
register
like
for
to
the class.
attend.
okay.
Do we all open the app right now?
Also, is there
Most
better
people are probably gonna have to change
description?
their password.
Yeah, it's gonna take a second. Just-
What?
Is there like a description of each
Breakout, usually on this app.
Usually there is.
Usually there is.
I didn't see one, so
Let's go ahead and all open the app and we can look at it together.
Update password.
And everyone's gonna have to update their passwords if they haven't gotten it already, so it's gonna take a second.
Oh, sorry, I guess I was just ahead of the game.
It says that my current password.
Each of the tracks in there are listed too, so that you can find the classes that most easily aligns with, like Lindsay said, what your business goals are, which makes it a ton easier.
These classes get filled up where like, if you're not like early, like you can't go to it.
Yep.
So be like.
So have a second.
Have a second.
Yeah, always have a backup.
Usually between the classes or presenters, there's gonna be a little bit of a break. I would run to the restroom for everybody else, honestly, and then I would be back in the room for everyone else to see.
You shouldn't really run into that issue on day one, since it's kind of choose your track and, yeah, stick to that room. Although you can move around, FYI, you weren't like trapped in a room.
Sure.
Sit in.
We've been told. Dennis and I always sit towards the back just for that reason. Because if I want to get up and get out, go special ways, I don't want to have to do it in front of the room. So it just depends on how you are, what comfortability you are with getting up in front of everybody and all that stuff. This will be my
There seem to be several people not able to log in. I will happily troubleshoot for you when I get some answers.
Yeah,
It doesn't like, here's the mark to get in, now to change the password, doesn't like that mark or that reference number. Oh, as my old password.
I don't know. That's my official answer right now.
I think your question about how do you know, how do you choose? I want to choose on, like, you're brand new to real estate or newer to real estate, you're gonna want to choose a breakout session that is far enough from your current realities, but not too far from your current reality that is too much, too big, right? Especially if you're looking for things to implement. And if you have your business goals already, those in mind, along with your growth plan.
You can see this will show, we're just talking about too, when you're looking at the classes, they're color coded at the bottom, right? And it will show admins, individual agent, expansion, agent, solar agent, teams. So that's a good way to find the track that you're looking for, like you do on Saturday. You can kind of find the classes that will go with that.
Discuss a meetup or how we are communicating throughout the meeting. Facebook group?
Nope.
So we'll be popping up a Facebook chat. And we'll invite all of you to it.
Yep.
Every meeting 2022. A lot of times we try to sit together in a general session as a group. Sometimes we very logistically hard to find everybody. But we will let you know to the best of our ability where we are, when we are, that kind of thing, so that we can all sit together. However, back to Summer's point, if you really want to learn and get engaged and get a throw network going, maybe you don't want to sit with the group, but it's on your comfort level. Yeah, just, I mean, we never want to leave you out of anything that we're doing, just the best way to communicate where we are, where you can find certain things. A need if you should have one.
Can I share a really cool app with you guys that helped me too?
All my things.
All my things. So there is an app called Otter. If you don't have it. I told Pam about this yesterday. We circle a bunch of lines and you will record your stuff. If somebody's doing scripts or something like that, and then it will transcribe them into like writing.
Is it OTT or OT?
OTTR. Otter. Yeah, it has a blue circle and then 4 blue lines after it.
It's OTTR, no E.
It's ER. Well, if this is the right one.
Yeah. So it's fantastic because it will record the verbal, yes, and it will transcribe it for you. So
That's
it
awesome.
writes it out. So if someone's giving you a script, I always have my smart. Yeah, otherwise I'm like taking notes and then trying to write everything people say. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, any other questions, you guys? So keep an eye out for that Facebook group. We'll get that going and invite you guys to it. And then we're gonna go find some sunshine. If you guys have questions about your exact itinerary and what breakouts you guys want, I'm more than happy to sit down with you and go through it together so that you guys have clarity and you feel confident with the backups too. Yeah, summer as well. So that's all I got. Any questions online? No. Thanks.
Is everybody going with somebody or just going like on their own?
I'm so excited.
Yay. I can't believe it's been 2 years. It's crazy.
I have a question. So on that email, that we got yesterday, it said scan, there was nothing to scan.
When you log into the app, there will be a barcode. It will work. They're aware that there isn't one in the email and they're sorry.
Oh.
Technical difficulties.